friends, welcome back to the Undergraduate Impact Program Mentorship. This is the final lesson of the first module, and I believe you learned so much going from the first, second, and third lesson of this first module. And I hope you have been applying everything you've learned so far. In this lesson, we're going to talk about something very important, and that is voice, which is how you show up in the world. Voice. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you sat, in a class discussion, or a group meeting or a conversation with friends, and you had an idea in your mind, but you didn't say it? And that was not because you had nothing to say actually, but because you thought, maybe it's not important, or maybe someone else will say it if I don't say it, or maybe I will sound foolish if I voice what I want to say. So you stayed quiet, right? Most people have experienced that moment. In fact, even myself have experienced, such a moment. And sometimes it passes without maybe a present consequence. But when that silence becomes a habit, something important happens. Your voice slowly disappears from the spaces where it matters. And that's not because you lack ideas, and that's not because you lack intelligence, but because you never practiced expressing what you think. And that is why this lesson is very important, right? Because when we talk about purpose, which is the theme we are on for this first module of the mentorship, purpose is not something you just discover internally, right? At some point, purpose must be expressed externally. That expression is your voice. Over the past few lessons, we have been building on something step by step. Remember the first lesson, right? Where we went to, into self-discovery, understanding who you are. Then we delved into values. The second lesson, defining what you stand for. And then in the third lesson, we had vision, deciding where you are going. But none of those things create impact if they remain private. At some point, they must be seen, heard, and experienced by other people who are around you, right? And maybe not even just those who are around you, but those who will come in contact with what you have inside. And that is where voice comes in. Voice is how your identity, your values, your vision show up in the world. So consider this very simple example. Imagine two students who notice a problem in their department. And what is that problem? The problem is, example, information from the lecturer is unclear. Maybe the lecturer passes an instruction or gives the student an assignment, and they kind of feel confused about what the assignment is. So one student just complains privately to friends, and babe, do you understand what this man said? Or guy, do you understand what this man has been saying? Right? And look at the other student. The other student raises the concern respectfully during a departmental meeting, or even after the class, and he raises his hand or her hand and says, sir or ma'am, we don't understand what you said, the instructions you gave in the assignments, right? And most students, of course, like we said earlier, noticed the problem, but only one person used their voice in the right way. And that difference is what really matters in the world we live in. It is your voice that turns observation into contribution, right? Many people assume voice as being loud or being just outspoken, but that's not what I'm talking about, because you might be listening to me and you'll be like, I'm not really someone who wants to go and be speaking or wants to go and be talking to people or, just putting my mouth in everybody's conversation. No, that's not what I'm talking about. It doesn't just mean that you're loud and you're just talking here and there. Voice simply means showing up authentically and contributing thoughtfully. Let me say that again. Voice means that you show up authentically and you contribute meaningfully to where the things that you have within you really matter. Your voice appears in different ways. It could be, asking the right questions when there are confusions about something, just like in the example I gave, right? It could be contributing your ideas meaningfully to solve a problem, to lend your voice to a particular cause, right? It could also be defending the standards that you uphold, the standards that you value. It also talks about the conversations that you initiate or contribute to, These are the various ways people can use the voice. Voice is how people experience what you stand for, right? So the question now is, how do you develop your voice in a way that it reflects a purposeful life? Because remember, the whole theme of what we're talking about in this model is purposeful living, right? So, like I've always done, I'm going to walk you through a framework that I want you to, remember and apply. And that framework is going to be done using the letters of the word voice. So that's VOICE, right? Are you ready? The first letter there is V, and that speaks to value your perspective. Value your perspective. Many young people, dismiss their own ideas before even anybody gets to hear them. They assume that it's just experience or age, that maybe years of experience, not just experience, because no matter how long you've lived here on earth, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, you have a bit of experience, you have a bit of knowledge if you've been reading and studying and learning, right? Perspective is shaped by observation, curiosity, and thoughts. And so if you are in the university already, an undergraduate, you already have a bit of knowledge about different things that you can contribute to wherever you find yourself, right? And you are learning as well. You are seeing problems. You are, forming ideas. And those insights that you glean from people, from books, from resources, from listening, they are things that could contribute to the narrative that could turn around or that could shape or build something that you want to see a change in. So you may not have every answer, but the truth is that thoughtful questions and perspective that you already have can add a whole lot of value to any environment that you find yourself in. So your voice begins when you believe that your perspective is worth sharing, and that's very important. The second thing is, that's the second letter, O. Own your values publicly. Your voice becomes very powerful when it reflects what you stand for, because the truth is that anyone can say impressive words, but when your actions consistently align with your values, people begin to trust what you say. I'll repeat that again. When your actions consistently align with your values, people begin to trust what you say. Wherever you lend your voice, or in whichever way you lend your voice in the world we live in, ensure that the things you say and how you say them align with your values. If you value discipline, you value respect, even in the way you write, in the way you speak. You don't talk down on people. You don't bully people online because you just want to say something, right? So ensure that your voice, you own your values, and they should be reflected in everything you say and how you say them. Because when your actions and your words align, your voice gains credibility. And like we all know, credibility gives weight to who you are and how people perceive and see you in the world we live in. The next letter there is I, and that speaks to improve your knowledge and understanding. Improve your knowledge and understanding. You see, voice without knowledge can become noise. In the world where information spreads quickly, people want to know that what they hear or what they read from you is thoughtful, informed, and really true. And that requires continuous growth. So if you want to be known for something, you want to contribute meaningfully to whatever thing that resonates with you, ensure you take the time to study, you take the time to read, to question the ideas that come to mind, right? If you think about respected voices in various fields and endeavors that people listen to or read more about, they are like well-renowned authors. They are not just anyhow people. They've taken time, they've done due diligence to keep growing in that field, in that course, in that topic or subject matter that they are renowned for, or that they speak or write about. The world we live in, people see things through various lenses. So ensure that the lens through which you see things and say things are not influenced by your own biases, right? Read, study, ask questions. When you study deeply in areas that matter to you, you find out that when you speak about them or you write about them, you write from a place of authority. And when you commit yourself to learning and growing, your voice becomes more reliable. And then over time, people begin to trust what you share and what you say, what you write, because they know that it comes from a place of careful thinking and genuine understanding, right? I believe you're following. So that is how influence actually grows. People listen when they know that you value truth, not just attention. All right, the next letter there is C, and that says communicate with clarity. Communicate with clarity. Ideas only create impact when people actually understand them. So, learn to express your thoughts clearly. Speak simply, organize your ideas before you say them, before you write them. Listen carefully before you respond to people, and that is a very big skill. So many people know how to talk, write, or whatever, but they don't listen. So we're talking about clarity. Clarity helps people connect with what you're saying, and it also invites, people deeply into the conversations that you're having with them, right? So as you make those posts, as you lend your voice to whatever thing you're lending your voice to, learn to ask questions, share your ideas during conversations, during discussions with people. And remember, like I talked about earlier, to contribute respectfully also. Don't just talk down on people, right? When you see a problem, there are opportunities open for you to speak about courses in your school, in your environment. Learn to think deeply and see what you want to say in a very clear way. That really shows that you give some thought to what you had to give to people, right? Sometimes one thoughtful question, one thoughtful idea, one thoughtful conversation said right can change the direction of a whole community, of a whole problem, can just turn it around and make it become better, right? That is why clear communication is very important. It gives your voice reach. The last letter, but not the least idea, is E. Express your voice. Express your voice consistently and confidently. We live in a world where and in a time where truth can sometimes become uncomfortable. And the truth is that not everyone will agree with you every time. So I want you to sit with that. I want you to embrace that and know that not everyone will like you for what you stand for. And that is why confidence and consistency are very important. Confidence does not mean that you become arrogant or you begin to talk to people anyhow, just say things you want to say in any way, right? Confidence means that you stand calmly in what you believe in after careful thought. And so the more you live your values and express your ideas responsibly, the stronger your voice becomes. Over time, people now begin to recognize your perspective and the impact that you are making through the things you say and do. Purpose grows clearer when your voice is used consistently, and the more consistently you show up, the more confidently you will speak. Also, I want you to note this, very important as well. Voice is not something you use once. It develops through consistent expression. So, like I said earlier, share your ideas, discuss them with your friends, encourage others, stand for what you believe in, contribute solutions when you see problems, where you find them, and as much as possible when it drops in your spirit to really do that. So do that, lend the voice, answer the questions. Over time, people begin to recognize your perspective, and that's how influence grows and your voice becomes renowned and reckoned for in that topic that you talk about, or that topic or that idea that you share. All right, as we close this module and purpose, I want us to just look back at our journey so far. We went from self-discovery, and that helps you to understand who you are, right? And then we went on to values that help you to define what you stand for, and then we went to vision that helped you to clarify where you're going. And now we've just talked about voice, and that determines how you show up in the world. When your identity, values, vision, and voice align, you find out that your life begins to move with direction and great impact. So thank you for going on this journey with me through module 1, and I believe you have chewed a lot, taking so much in. But I don't want you to just listen. That's why we always share the workbook. So sit back with the workbook that we'll share with you for this lesson as well. Interact with the extra resources in that workbook. So you see a link that will lead you to other things you could go listen to and read about that will help to build on the knowledge you already have. Answer the questions, think through the things you've learned, and also implement. Like start speaking, start lending your voice to things that resonate with you, things you see around you, and you're like, why are they behaving like this? Say something. Thank you very much for going on this journey with me. Thank you, and I hope that you join the next module and you have very good experience in this mentorship. Bye.